January 1st, 2021, Bhagwati Heights, Car, Mumbai. A New Year's Eve party was in full swing on the rooftop of Bhagwati Heights. Among the attendees were 19-year-old Jhanvi Kukreja and her friends Dia and Shri, celebrating with common friends, enjoying drinks and music. The party was organized on the rooftop by Yashauer, a resident of Bhagwati Heights, for his friends. Everyone seemed happy, dancing, singing, playing games, chatting and clicking photos. As the night progressed, some friends left to attend other parties, while others, due to the late hour, went to sleep in Yash's second-floor apartment. Those who remained continued to dance, sway to the music and gossip while drinking. About 2 hours later, a resident of Bhagwati Heights stepped out of her flat to walk her dog. Upon reaching the ground floor, a horrifying sight made her scream. The blood-soaked body of a young woman lay there. Who did this body belong to, and what was its connection to the party? To understand this, we need to go back a few hours. December 31st, 2020, 7:30 p.m. Jhanvi Kukreja was preparing to celebrate her father Prakash Kukreja's birthday. Due to the pandemic restrictions imposed across the country, the family had decided to celebrate at home. At 8 p.m., Prakash Kukreja cut the cake in the presence of his family, first feeding his two daughters, Jhanvi and Monya. The family celebrated together, capturing the moments on camera. 2 hours later, at 10 p.m., Jhanvi's friends 19-year-old Dia Podolkar and 21-year-old Shri Jogdonkar arrived. They wished Jhanvi's father a happy birthday and Jhanvi fed them cake. Since the new year was about to begin, their common friend Yashauer had organized a party at his home in Bhagwati Heights, Car, just an 8-minute drive from Jhanvi's house. Shri and Dia urged Jhanvi to join them. Initially, Jhanvi refused, citing her upcoming exams, but she eventually gave in to her friend's persistence. When she asked her father for permission, he initially refused due to pandemic restrictions on public gatherings. However, Shri and Dia convinced him that only 12 to 15 friends would be present and that Yash's home was nearby. He finally agreed but gave strict instructions they were not to be too late, and if it got too late, they should stay there and return in the morning. With these conditions accepted, Jhanvi, Shri and Dia left for the party, arriving by 11:30 p.m. At 1:30 a.m., Prakash called Jhanvi, but her phone was busy. Assuming she would return home in the morning, the Kukreja family went to sleep, but a storm was brewing over their peaceful slumber. January 1st, 2021. At around 5 a.m., Prakash Kukreja's phone rang loudly. Still groggy from a late night, he saw the caller was his neighbor, Samir Podolkar, Dia's father. A faint smile crossed his face as he answered, but the panicked voice on the other end instantly wiped it away. Samir simply said, "Prakash, come to the car police station immediately. Jhanvi has met with an accident." The news of his daughter's accident left him shaken. Struggling to compose himself, he told his wife Needy and rushed to the police station. Inside, his eyes frantically searched for Jhanvi, praying for her safety. He entered only to have his world collapse in an instant. The police officer informed him that Jhanvi was no more. The words drained the strength from his body, and he collapsed in shock. At that time, everyone believed it was an accident, but the reality was far more sinister, with hidden secrets that someone had tried to lock away in a box of lies. Welcome to the show. My name is Shashwat, and you are watching the brutal murder case of Jhanvi Kukreja. Before we proceed, it's important to be clear, my constant effort is to present only the truth. It's a disturbing case where we will see how those responsible for her death later mocked her parents. You will also be angered to learn how sometimes criminals escape justice not just through cunning, but due to a small police oversight. Prakash Kukreja, who lived in Soki Nagar, Mumbai, worked for a shoe company, and his wife Needy worked for a private firm. They were a happy family, looking forward to seeing their daughters, Jhanvi and Monya, succeed in life. Jhanvi was studying psychology at High Hind College in Mumbai and planned to pursue her masters in Australia. She excelled not only in academics but also in extracurricular activities. From a young age, she was caring and helpful, known for running one of the most successful blood donation drives among her peers. Her dedication led her to join the Rotary Club right after her 10th boards, and her dependable, no-nonsense personality made her the club service director at a very young age. Being bubbly and friendly, Jhanvi had many friends, but her deepest bond was with her neighbor and childhood friend, Dia. Their friendship was so strong that both families considered each other as their own. In June 2020, amidst the pandemic, their friendship took a new turn when they turned Jhanvi's baking hobby into a business. Called Pretty Bake by DJ, the D standing for Dia and the J for Jhanvi. Learning recipes from YouTube, they launched with cookies and brownies. Their creative captions and attractive packaging, complete with a handwritten note saying "From our oven to your doorstep," won customers' hearts during those negative times. Orders grew, and after a good response during Diwali, they planned to become more active on social media for Christmas and New Year. Unfortunately, before those plans could be executed, everything halted in November. Updates on Instagram stopped. According to friends, the business had to shut down due to a drop in orders after Diwali. Though the business ended, Dia and Jhanvi's friendship remained as strong as ever. In a video on YouTube, Jhanvi could be seen dancing and laughing carefree. No one suspected that this cheerful laughter would turn into the silence of death in just a few months, a tragic turn that her family could never have imagined. January 1st, 2021, Bhagwati Heights, 3 a.m. Following an emergency call from a resident, police arrived at the scene and a forensic team was alerted. The resident told them a party had been going on the rooftop all night, organized by Yash Arya. Strangely, the party was still ongoing, but everyone present was too intoxicated to give a coherent statement. When Yash was called to identify the body, he confirmed it was Jhanvi Kukreja. The forensic team began their work, and as they moved floor by floor, the evidence started painting a horrific picture. Bloodstains were scattered on the stairs, railings, and grills from the 5th to the 2nd floor. Along this bloody path lay broken bangles, earrings, sandals, and clumps of Jhanvi's hair. The most blood was found on the 2nd floor stairs. The investigation then led to Yash's 2nd floor flat, where blood-stained bed sheets and pillows were seized. After collecting the crucial evidence, Jhanvi's body was sent for post-mortem to KB Bobha Municipal General Hospital in Vilpar. To uncover the truth, police questioned Yash for a list of all party attendees, asking them to come to Car Police Station to record their statements. The call from Dia's father at 5:10 a.m. had devastated the Kukreja family. At the police station, when Prakash learned of his daughter's death, he fainted. Regaining consciousness with water, accepting the horrific reality was impossible for him. Gathering strength, he called his wife Needy. Her scream upon hearing of her daughter's death was heart-wrenching. With immense sorrow, both parents went to KB Bobha Hospital for body identification before the post-mortem. Seeing the condition of her body, their sorrow turned to rage. They refused to believe it was an accident, insisting to the police that their daughter had been murdered. The courtyard that once echoed with her laughter now held her lifeless body, surrounded by a terrifying silence. With heavy hearts, Jhanvi's parents performed her last rites. A condolence meet was organized at the Car Gymkhana at 6 p.m, where many paid their final tribute. But when the post-mortem report was released, their suspicions were confirmed. The autopsy revealed that Jhanvi had been attacked with a sharp object on her skull, as if her head had been smashed with full force against a railing or wall. A total of 48 injuries were recorded. There were injury marks around her thighs and hips, indicating an intense struggle. Forensic estimates suggested she was brutally attacked between 1:30 and 2 a.m., with death resulting from a skull fracture. There were no signs of sexual assault. The report was clear. This was no accidental fall. It was a brutal homicidal attack. Now, Jhanvi's parents had only one goal: justice for their daughter. To get there, it was crucial to understand what happened that night. The answers likely lay with Dia and Shri, as they had brought Jhanvi to the party and were with her the entire time. As the Kukrejas were considering speaking with Dia, Prakash recalled something from Samir Podolkar's final call at 5:10 a.m. Samir had said that both Dia and Jhanvi had been in an accident, with Dia admitted to Hinduya Hospital and Jhanvi to Bhopal Hospital. A small but crucial detail planted a seed of doubt. If both were part of the same accident, why were they taken to different hospitals? And why didn't Dia call them herself? Another unsettling fact: the call came almost 2.5 hours after Jhanvi's death. Seeing these red flags, needy sense to cover up. Perhaps these kids knew the truth and Dia's parents were trying to protect her. With this suspicion, she went directly to the police station and filed an FIR, accusing Dia and Shri of her daughter's murder. The investigation began immediately. All party attendees were interrogated, their statements cross-checked, and their phones seized for forensic analysis to extract chat logs, calls, and location data. The building watchman said he was asleep and saw nothing unusual. Yash's grandparents, who also lived in the building, said they had gone to bed early and heard no screams or commotion. A major hurdle emerged. The stairwell where the incident occurred had no CCTV cameras. The building only had one on the rooftop and one at the ground floor exit. The investigation relied on these two footages. The rooftop footage showed Jhanvi leaving the party at 1:30 a.m. There was a noticeable gap in the footage, and then Shri was seen exiting the building at 5:15 a.m. His shirt was torn and clearly stained with blood. This led to a re-interrogation of the party attendees. They revealed that an argument had broken out between Jhanvi, Dia, and Shri on the rooftop, after which the three had headed towards the stairs. On January 2, 2021, police took Dia and Shri into custody. Shri, who was hospitalized with serious rib injuries, had a constable stationed outside his room as the police awaited his medical clearance for formal interrogation. Meanwhile, the team questioned Dia at Hinduya Hospital, where she was admitted for a lip injury. Her answer shocked everyone. She claimed she had consumed marijuana at the party and couldn't remember what happened to Jhanvi. A parallel team dug into Shri's background, revealing two prior cases of assault, one against a taxi driver and another against a pan shop vendor, demonstrating a pattern of impulsive and violent behavior. Despite both accused denying involvement based on circumstantial evidence, a local Mumbai court sent them to 13 days of police custody, followed by judicial custody on January 14, 2021. Shri was sent to Taloya Central Jail and Dia to Baikula Women's Prison. The police had now studied the statements of the 14 friends present, linking them with crime scene observations and forensic evidence. A timeline of that night was reconstructed, revealing the horrifying truth behind the New Year's celebration. As the party progressed, people broke off into groups. Some focused on music and drinks, while couples enjoyed private moments. In a dark corner of the rooftop, Shri and Jhanvi were spending time together, observed by another girl at the party. Later, an intoxicated Dia stumbled to a mattress near the projector and lay down. Around 12:45 a.m., Jhanvi returned to the rooftop after helping a friend who had vomited. What she saw shook her to the core. Shri lying next to Dia, the two being intimate. Seeing her boyfriend of 3 years betray her with a childhood friend, Jhanvi lost her temper. A heated argument erupted. Dia, exhausted by the argument, went down to Yasha's flat on the second floor. Enraged, Jhanvi pulled the wire of her phone from the projector and started calling friends. At around 1:25 a.m., Yasha's friend Karishma came down to his flat and saw Dia lying on the bed. Around 1:30 a.m., Jhanvi called her friend Pranika. Initially, she wished her a happy new year, but soon began crying on the call. She revealed that Shri, despite being in a relationship with her, was trying to get physically close with Dia. She said it was unacceptable, but also that she didn't want to lose either of them. She abruptly hung up. A conversation began near the stairs on the 5th floor, intended to resolve the issue, but it quickly turned into another argument, escalating into a physical fight. Shri and Dia began beating Jhanvi. In the struggle, Dia suffered a deep cut on her lip and Shri was injured in the ribs. Shri's violent nature took over. In a fit of rage, he grabbed Jhanvi's head and repeatedly smashed it against the walls, railings, and grill. Blood gushed from her head. The brutality didn't stop. Together, Shri and Dia dragged her down to the second floor, beating her so severely that a chunk of her hair was torn out. With the intent to finish her, they pushed her from the second-floor stairs down to the ground floor. She fell, and within moments her breath stopped. The night of New Year's became her last. After killing Jhanvi, a heavily intoxicated Dia went back to Yash's flat and fell asleep. Shri, panicking, tried to escape. He called his friend Param at 2:07 a.m., saying he was coming over. He walked past Jhanvi's body and exited the building. CCTV showed him leaving at 5:15 a.m. in a torn, blood-stained white shirt. He was in such a hurry that he forgot his Activa scooter in the parking lot. At 2:23 a.m., he called Param again, who refused to pick him up. Shri took a taxi to Param's house, changed his shirt, and went with Param to Shan Hospital for his injuries, claiming they were from a fight. Around 2:15 a.m., Yash returned to his flat with some friends. Inside, he saw Dia on the bed. When he called her, she looked back startled. Yash noticed the deep wound on her lip and the blood-stained pillow. When asked how she got hurt, she claimed she couldn't remember. As it was late, Yash went to drop Karishma home. When the lift door opened on the ground floor, a resident pointed and said, "A girl's body is lying there." Seeing Jhanvi's body, Yash was stunned. Before the police arrived, Dia's parents took her away. She was admitted to Hinduya Hospital around 2:45 a.m., captured on CCTV. Even though they knew Jhanvi was dead, Dia's parents called the Kukrejas over 2 hours later. At 5:10 a.m., claiming both had been in an accident, the question remained, who admits someone to the hospital for a lip injury? Unless a story needs to be fabricated to hide the truth. Thanks to needy Kukreja's vigilance and suspicion, both accused were arrested. But the case was far from over. The police only had circumstantial evidence, and they needed to prove guilt in court. Both accused maintained their innocence. Dia continued to claim amnesia. Shri said he was attacked from behind. But in the midst of these lies, a small police oversight would significantly impact the parents' fight for justice. In March 2021, the police filed a charge sheet. The accused repeatedly applied for bail. While their first plea was rejected, the Sessions Court granted Dia bail in June 2021. Upon release, she played a clever game to project her innocence while mocking Jhanvi's parents, knowing the message would reach them. It wasn't an apology, but a carefully crafted email. In the email, Dia wrote, "I miss you so much. The world feels so bad without you. People are so cruel and say terrible things. I would never hurt you. Half my soul went with you. It hurts so much to think that people say I hurt you, that it was my fault. I wouldn't even touch a hair on your head. I want you to be happy wherever you are." While appearing emotional, her line "I wouldn't even touch a hair on your head" was no coincidence. Psychologist in Campbell's book A Mind of Her Own and research in the Psychological Bulletin on Reactive Aggression note that aggression patterns often differ between men and women. Men target the head or torso with direct strikes, while women often pull hair to control movement without excessive force. Investigators had found clumps of Jhanvi's hair on different floors of the crime scene. The special public prosecutor had argued that, under the influence of alcohol, Dia had attacked Jhanvi by pulling her hair. By writing that line in her post-Bailey mail, Dia was mocking the prosecution and the painful truth of that night. Needy refused to stay silent. To ensure justice for her daughter, she filed a plea in court to assist the prosecutor. The court accepted. Needy tirelessly fought for justice at every forum, her only aim to punish her daughter's killers. Meanwhile, police negligence weakened the prosecution's case. The trial relied heavily on circumstantial evidence. The prosecution used the last seen theory if the victim and accused were last seen together. The accused must explain what happened. Witnesses confirmed seeing the three arguing and heading towards the stairs together. But since no one directly saw the attack, the focus shifted to corroborative evidence like DNA, blood stains, injury patterns, and digital evidence. Against Shri, the evidence was strong: CCTV, witness statements matching injury patterns, his violent past, and the most crucial piece, his blood-stained white shirt seized properly from his friend, which forensic analysis showed contained both Shri's and Jhanvi's blood. For Dia, the chain of evidence wasn't as strong, largely due to a critical police mistake. Among the evidence collected was a bedsheet from Yash's flat, which Dia had lain on after the murder. Forensic analysis revealed not only Dia's blood, but also Jhanvi's on the sheet. This was crucial for the prosecution, but Dia's lawyer challenged the investigation's credibility using CCTV footage showing a forensic technician collecting samples. After the specialist left, the evidence was wrapped in polythene bags and sheets, and police officers had the security guard load the bundles into the police vehicle. The defense cited Rule 148 of the police manual, which mandates preserving evidence in its original condition and sealing it immediately. The police had failed to follow this procedure. The court noted that this raised the possibility of tampering, making the forensic report based on such evidence unreliable. Some crucial evidence was declared inadmissible and rejected from the record evidence. That could have formed the strongest link against Dia. After over 5 years of investigation and legal proceedings, on January 31, 2026, the Mumbai Sessions Court delivered its verdict. Shri Jogdonkar was found guilty of Jhanvi's murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. However, due to a lack of solid evidence, co-accused Dia was acquitted. It was proven that she was present at the crime scene, but the chain of circumstances wasn't strong enough to prove a direct involvement. Beyond a reasonable doubt, she received the benefit of the doubt. The truth of a brutal murder was clear, but an oversight in the investigation left a part of that truth forever incomplete. This case is not just a murder story. It exposes a disturbing reality of the human mind, emotions, and impulsive decisions. Criminology has a concept called situational violence. Many murders aren't the result of long-term planning, but of uncontrolled emotions in a few minutes. Factors like jealousy, betrayal, humiliation, and alcohol can trigger a temporary shutdown of the rational brain. Decisions aren't made in that moment, reactions are, and sometimes those reactions are irreversible. Something similar happened with Jhanvi. An emotional confrontation that could have been just an argument turned into extreme violence in minutes, changing 3 lives forever. Forensic psychologists refer to a point of no return in violent conflicts, a moment after which reversing the situation becomes impossible. In this case, that moment came when Dia was injured and Shri's ribs were hurt. After that, Shri's brain switched to fight mode. Neuroscience explains that when extreme anger is triggered, the amygdala gets hijacked. The emotional center of the brain gets hijacked, overriding rational thought. In this state, future consequences aren't considered. The only goal is to dominate and destroy the opponent. Jhanvi's 48 injuries are a chilling indicator of this uncontrolled rage. This case also delivers a disturbing lesson. Justice depends not just on the truth, but on procedure. A single small oversight in investigation, an error in evidence handling, can change the course of an entire case. When that happens, a dangerous distance is created between the truth and justice. The biggest life lesson here is about self-safety and emotional awareness, especially for the younger generation. Relationships are intense at a young age, emotions are strong, egos are fragile, and betrayal cuts deep. Psychology offers a simple rule: high emotion plus private confrontation equals a high-risk situation. If you ever feel a situation involving tension, jealousy, or betrayal developing in a relationship, the first rule is don't confront them alone. Closed spaces like staircases, parking areas, empty rooms, or dark corners can be dangerous for heated arguments. If you must talk, do it in a public setting or bring a trusted friend along. The second lesson is emotional de-escalation. If a situation becomes aggressive, winning the argument isn't the priority. The most important thing is to remove yourself from that moment. People often continue confrontations out of anger or ego, but from a safety perspective, the smartest decision is to pause and create distance. Third, understand that love and trust are never a guarantee. Sometimes, the people we feel most comfortable with can behave unpredictably in emotional situations. Never ignore your personal safety instincts. The greatest truth of life is that an impulsive decision in one moment can change your entire life. Young people need to understand that emotional maturity doesn't come with age alone. It comes from self-control and awareness. If even one person learns from this story that staying away from toxic confrontations isn't weakness, but wisdom, then Jhanvi's story can become an important lesson, because at the end of the day, no argument, no relationship, and no ego is worth risking your life for.